Hello, I'm JerryDOusley, and welcome to today's edition of Spirit Bread. Today I'd like to talk to you about animal tricks. People have trained animals to do all sorts of tricks. You can see them perform on TV on programs that range from variety shows to Animal Planet. We see dogs who bark in such a way that they actually sound like they're saying words. Parrots are taught to mock the human language, and with enough work it sounds like they're carrying on an entire conversation. We've seen circus animals from parading elephants, boxing kangaroos, dancing bears, and people taming lions and tigers. It seems that there's nothing with enough patience added that man cannot teach animals to do. God had some special animals as well. The very first was a dove that returned to the ark with the olive branch in its beak. What about Balaam's donkey? It talked. Before we jump back in disbelief and claim that this author is off his rocker, don't forget about those talking parrots we've already mentioned. If man can do it, why do we think that God can't? There was the whale, or special fish, that God prepared for Jonah. It swallowed him in one giant gulp, and there he remained for 3 days. He wasn't digested, and I suppose that along with his constant complaining, he gave the fish a case of upset stomach, and after Jonah repented, God had the whale or fish vomit him out on dry land. That was a pretty good trick if you ask me. Let's not forget about the raven that brought food to Elijah while he hid out by the brook during the famine until it dried up. Let's see a man teach a bird like a raven to do that. Throughout the Bible we can find incidents where God used animals to get man's attention. He sent swarms of flies, commanded frogs to come out of the river and be, well, just about everywhere, and sent the locusts, all to get Pharaoh's attention when he wanted him to release the descendants of Israel out of slavery from Egypt. Jesus used the example of a common sparrow to show how not even one in this abundant species of bird fell to the ground without it catching God's attention. It's kind of amazing to me that God can so easily train the animals to do things, and man mocks him by doing the same thing, yet we read about one of God's animal tricks in the Bible, and with a hump, we'll say something like, "That's impossible." But if we can do it, just think of how much easier God can do it. The big difference is that man does it for entertainment or to make money, while God does it simply to get our attention. We can be pretty hard-headed sometimes, and God has to go to the extreme to get through to us. But he will do what it takes until we have proven that we won't listen, even if a donkey says good morning. How much easier would it be for us to just believe what God wrote to us through the hands of the prophets and apostles? I know it would be a lot easier for us. It isn't a hard thing for God to make an animal do something to make us take a second look, but he shouldn't have to do that. We need to get over the pride of what we think is knowledge and use some common sense to just believe God. If we don't, we'd better be watching the animals. It's hard to say what God will have them saying or doing next. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for joining us. We invite you to find out more by visiting our website at www.spiritbread.com. You're also welcome to email us at JOUSLEY@spiritbread.com. Take God with you wherever you go and in whatever you do, and have a wonderful day. Join us next time for another edition of Spirit Bread.